Hi, this is Mike Larson from Money and Markets TV. Toward the end of every year, I like to look back at the last 12 months of market action and ponder what lessons we can learn from it. For 2011, the answer is obvious to me. Policymakers are trying to fight a battle that they can't win. It's clear they're trying their best. Interest rate cuts, money printing programs, stimulus plans, powwows every few weeks. But no matter the tactics, they've all failed to accomplish much for the global economy or the capital markets. Indeed, barring some large last-minute rally, the S&P 500 will likely finish down slightly for the year. And the carnage is much worse overseas, in both developed and emerging markets. In Germany, the benchmark DAX index is off more than 15%. The Brazilian Bovespa has fallen nearly 20%, and the Shanghai Composite Index in China has tumbled more than 20%. Now, to understand the depth of this failure, let's recap the proposed solutions that fiscal and monetary policymakers have trotted out in an effort to help the markets. There was a second bailout for Greece in July, followed by the launch of Operation Twist from the Federal Reserve in September. In November, the Congressional Super Committee botched its job to reduce the federal deficit, and then earlier this month, there was the meeting to save the euro currency. Now, each and every event was hyped in advance, billed as the ultimate solution to what ails the economy and the markets. And many times we saw stocks, commodities, and the euro currency rally for a few days or a few weeks shortly before or after those developments. But ultimately, all of those rallies fizzled because policymakers failed to deliver on their promises. The latest example is the 200 billion euro bailout fund that EU leaders agreed upon in December. We were told that central banks throughout Europe would funnel money to the International Monetary Fund, and the IMF in turn would then lend that money to troubled nations. But now, we're learning the UK has no intention of ponying up the more than 30 billion euros worth of aid that it was expected to contribute. And other countries throughout the Eurozone are getting cold feet too. As a result, the fund will almost certainly fall short of its goal, just like the European Financial Stability Facility did before it. So why do these ideas keep failing? Why is nothing working for more than a few days or weeks? Because we're in a worldwide economic slowdown driven by massive deleveraging and debt aversion. There is no way back to the debt-fueled growth economy of the early 2000s or the equity bubble-fueled growth economy of the 1990s. But the politicians and cheerleaders on Wall Street won't admit that to themselves, and they're certainly not going to admit it in public. So they keep trying to come up with ways to put Humpty Dumpty back together again. And they keep failing to learn the most obvious, powerful lesson of 2011. But prudent investors like you don't have to make the same mistakes. You can take steps to protect yourself for the tough times that we'll face as a result of the policymakers' failures. One crucial step is to consider investments that rise in value as select assets fall. If you follow my advice, you'll make 2012 a much better year for yourself than 2011 was for the typical Wall Street investor. I'm Mike Larson for Money and Markets TV. Thank you for watching and have a very happy holiday.